Well, good morning there, and welcome to Dropping Floats. It's about 6 in the morning. I've got a free morning here to go out and do a little poking around on the river. Haven't quite made my mind up exactly what species I want to go after. So I brought two rods. I brought a steelhead rod, and then I brought a light trout rod. They're both pen rods, so I'll be float fishing today. I won't be fly fishing or spinner fishing. Decided to get the dust off the old pen rods. So we've been having and mopping a little heat wave for the last 4 or 5 days, where it's getting up to in the 100 degrees, which is not the best for fishing. It cooled down very nice last night. It's cool this morning, so I'm gonna go down and I'm gonna do a water temp with a little thermometer that I carry in my tackle bag, and see where we're sitting at this morning. If it's mid 60s, I probably won't steelhead fish. Just the chances of connecting with one are pretty low when it gets that warm. The fish get pretty sulky, and they're not typically too terribly motivated to bite. I mean, not saying you can't, but most of the time you're going to just be wasting your time. I've got several reports in town of steelhead being caught. I have not personally seen any photos or seen anybody catch one. A lot of talk. So hopefully they're not all fishermen stories, and there are some fish being caught. I've poked around a couple times looking for them. Admittedly, I don't like the lower access road too terribly much, the gravel sections, because it's so rough. Feels like whenever I drive down there, my truck comes back broken. So I'm gonna putt down there probably this morning and see what I can find. Okay, so a little change of plan this morning here. My initial plan was to go down and do some steelheading and poke around for one, but I got a late start. The sun's coming up pretty quick, and I should be down at the first spot already fishing, and I'm still driving. So what I've decided to do is I did bring 2 poles, like I said earlier. I've decided to go up to White River State Park and show you guys a new spot to fish if you come to Maupin. It definitely does not get fished near as often as the Deschutes. Everyone is so focused on, lower D, lower D, lower D, that they forget about the White River. And I just drove by White River Campground, and it is flowing clear. That's one thing about the White River is it can get blown out pretty easily. But luckily for me this morning, it is looking mighty clear from the access road. So I'm gonna buzz up the road, just crossed Cheers Bridge, and head up towards the state park and do a little trout fishing on the White. I should have left about an hour sooner if I was gonna steelhead, but oh well. Change of plan. I'm gonna go drive to the White River State Park and park there. I'll show you guys once I get there what it looks like, what to expect, and show you guys a new spot to trout fish. I usually always have pretty good success there, so I anticipate catching some fish. Although when the weather gets hot and gnarly like this, it can make for tough fishing days. So I'll know in about 15 minutes probably whether or not we're going to have some good footage for a video or not. Either way, the hike down into the canyon is pretty cool. I'll get some cool canyon footage though. I'll show, and it's a real pretty little river. So got a couple more minutes on this drive, and then I'll show you the entrance and get swung in there and get geared up and get down the river. All right, well, here we are at the entrance of the White River State Park. Day use only. What time is it? I can't for the life of me understand why this place has a host. I guess it gives a retired person something to do. There's like no camping here. There's no... So like, why are we paying or having the host even be here? I don't know, what time is it? 6:50. I'm good enough. He wants to throw a sissy fit about 10 minutes. Can't. But there's the entrance. It's a very nice park. It's got bathrooms. It's very green. Great place to have a picnic. Once I get closer, I'll do a snippet. Well, all right, we've made it. Here's the White River State Park. Kind of a once over if you've never been here. It's very green. It's got good shade, picnic tables, and a nice bathroom with flush toilets. So it's a nice park. It does have a host, which is bizarre to me, but it does have one. So he's always looking at you like you're doing something wrong, like he's doing to me this morning. So, but we'll got a little bit of a hike here this morning. We're gonna head down the trail. I'll take you over here to show you the falls. This was the old White River power station location, so it's kind of a little bit of a historical marker. The falls is really cool. We'll get down over to it. And there it is. I'll get a better shot from down below, but it'll be kind of neat to see it from two different planes. But there it is. There's some old piping from the old power station. And then there's the canyon that we're going to be hiking down into. There is some pretty good hiking involved with coming out here fishing, so just be aware of that. The climb out of the canyon is pretty steep, and the trail is not very good. It's not very well maintained, even though the area has a host, which is kind of funny. So I'm gonna make my way down this trail and get you some shots down below. Well, here's an example of how rough the trail is. Of course, it's not going to look that rough on video, because that's just what video does. But this is pretty steep working your way down. It's loose dirt, big bouldery things, unmaintained steps. So this is what you can expect going down to this first portion. You just got to pay attention where you're stepping. And don't get too lollygagging looking at the falls as you come down. Otherwise, that's when you're going to trip. And speaking of the falls, I'm going to stop here. And there it is. It's a pretty cool little area. And there's probably a lot of you that come to Maupin to fish and raft and don't even realize this is about a 10-minute drive from town. And it's got a great swimming spot down here below that I'll show. I've never really caught any fish in this swimming spot, but they could be there. So I'm gonna keep working my way down, and once I get down to the bottom, I'll jump back on here and oh, that's off trail. All right, there we go. I gotta go over here. There we go. This is the main trail. All right, so once I got dropped down here, here's a kind of top view of the old power station, the old White River power station. That's pretty cool. I might be able to get a closer shot inside of it here. It's probably locked up. But if it's not, I'll get an interior shot for sure. It's kind of a neat old structure that's slowly but surely kind of dying. So, ready. I'll see you here in a bit down below at the swimming hole. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, this is the swimming spot down below the water tower, and it's a nice slow slack spot. I just put the shot onto this setup, and when you do that, when you first shot a rig, you need to make sure you have the counterbalance set up, and the best way to do that is to go to a real slow slack spot of water, kind of like where I'm at here, and just cast it out, and that float should be riding right at the water line on the float. This is actually looking pretty good. It might need just a touch more shot. I'm going to try to wade out there and get into a little deeper water to make sure I'm not dragging bottom, but let's see here. So I'm just a smidgen light. That line is just sitting right above the water. So I'm gonna go ahead and pinch a little bit more shot on here. So whenever you set up a new float setup and you're doing your shot, you always have to do this, just to make sure the counterbalance is set up right. Because if you don't get that counterbalance set up right, then your whole presentation is going to be off and the float's not going to do what you're expecting it to do. So I'm just a smidgen light, so I'm going to crank on probably like a 0.3 percentage of shot there, and we'll go from there, start fishing once I get a little bit more shot put on. All right. Got a nice hookup on the White River. Out here doing some Tom Sawyer shit, wading around, probably where I shouldn't be. It's a nice little fish. Get it over here, get it on camera. All right. Oh, and he came off. Perfect. Auto release. It's my favorite kind. He ate that little pink guy. Just kind of right out in front in that fast tail. I'm fishing this oxygenated water that's fast moving because this time of year, that's where the fish are going to be more than likely the most comfortable. So that is where I am going to focus my time and see if I can't get another fish on film here. But it's a beautiful day, the canyon's gorgeous, and I'm going to keep just working my way down and see what I can hook up with today. Alright, got another fish. This spot has been very productive. I can't get it in. Alright, none of them are overly huge. Oh, come on, dude. Work with me, work with me. None of them are overly huge, but there's a nice guy. Gonna keep working this guy, and this little spot I've hooked up with about 4 or 5 fish already. I didn't get them all on camera here, but doing the best that I can. It's in a pretty precarious spot in the river, so and holding the reel and spot is proving to be very difficult. So see if I can't get another one here, another take on camera. Oh nope, bottom. Do one more cast here. Getting ready to move on. There's some better looking water down below, but this little quick section here has been very productive. Do a slow retreat right out in front of me. See if that gets us anything. Nope, nothing. Last one. Gonna kick it up high there. Trying to hope the current gets it. There we go. Help it along. Nope, bottom. And the last one. We'll try to get a little distance on this one. There we go. Well, time to move. All right, I know we're gonna get a bobber down here. Gonna try to capture it on camera here. Anytime now. Let's go, fishy, fishy, fishy. Gonna try to stay away from that snag, as you can see out there, that stick. There it is. Oh yeah. That's a pretty nice one. That's a pretty nice one. Oh yeah, dude. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Jesus, dude. Jesus. You got me all fouled up here. Nice fish for this little river. But I did get pretty fouled up. Let's see if I can get this cleared without getting a fish on. That's happened to me before, cleaning out my reel from a snag and then get a fish on. This wasn't a too bad a one, but I should have turned my clicker on when I was trying to get them off. And that was a take. That's probably a fish. Nope. Just a snag. All right. Gonna work this little seam right here off that fast water. I already lost one really nice one. It went airborne on me. Beautiful fish, and when he went airborne, he threw the hook. I'm running barbless on everything, so that's gonna happen. But let's see if I can't get another guy out of this little seam here. I'm using that blood run rod that I am not too crazy about, at least for the Deschutes. I figured I'd gear it up and give it another shot on a smaller stream and see how I like it. And it's still pretty soft. I've landed some fish, but I've had a lot come off from just losing the pressure on them, because it's so easy to do, because it is a very, very noodly rod. Boy, I wish I'd gotten that one that went airborne. He was nice. He was about 15 inch. All right, let's see if I can't get a bigger cast here and get out further and hit more of that tail. There we go. Get a quick mend. Oh, it's a fish. Oh, damn it. That's what I'm talking about right there. Prime example. You know, going to braid would probably help, but I really don't want a center pin with braid. Guys probably do it, but I don't want to. I'm not a braided fishing line fan for the most part. I think it's a lot of industry saying how great it is. All right, let's see if we can't get out again into that faster water. Really pick that slack up, get that rod tip down so if I need to set quickly. No, nothing. All right, let's see if I can't bring her in here and get her off smoothly. All right, I got him. Alrighty. Dink right in the nose. Little guy. Well, cool. I'm gonna keep working that little tail. They're definitely hanging out in there. About every other drift I'm getting at least a take, if not a hookup. So I might move over where I can get a little further out into that fast moving water. There's enough of a bank here I should be able to do that. And then oh, I probably need to adjust my camera though, because it's not going to be able to see me. But anyways, same drift. What do we got here? Oh, it's a whitefish. Nature's tweakers. Twitch, twitch, twitch. If you ever caught a whitefish, you know exactly what I'm talking about with the twitch, twitch, twitch. Oh, awesome. Auto release right at my feet. That saved me from having to take my glove off. I'm wearing sun gloves now, trying to protect the hands a little bit because I spend a lot of time out in high UV sun. So doing the best I can to wear proper gear. I'm gonna try to get down here water level to land him. He is feisty. All right. Ah, good sized one. Oh yeah. Look at that guy. He took that on the slow retrieve back to me. So he ignored the slow drift and then took it on the slow retrieve. That's a pretty effective method when you're float fishing. Just to bring it back to you nice and slow and steady. I get a lot of takes doing that. Here. See if I can't coax another guy out. There it is. This one's got some pretty good weight. Yeah, it does have some pretty good weight. There could be fish of the day. He's not ready to come up yet. Yeah, it's fish of the day. It's a nice fish. Let's try to get it over here. Very nice fish. Yep, yeah buddy. I'm gonna try to get this glove off. I forgot to do it last time. All right, hold him upside down. Nice fish. Very nice fish. All right. Well, let's try to get this boat back on and see if we can't duplicate that. Very, very pretty day. Now, if you're gonna come out and fish this kind of water when it's been hot like this, you really need to focus on the highly oxygenated, quicker water. They're not going to be in the slow, slacky stuff when it's been this warm. And there's the shot of where I've been fishing the whole canyon there. It's pretty cool. So they're going to be in this really fast stuff and with good depth, or fast stuff with moderate, medium depth. Just because they're trying to cool off, they're trying to be comfortable in highly oxygenated areas. Let's see if we can't get another take on camera. That was pretty cool. And that's probably one of my better fish on this river. That was a nice fish. Well, here we are moving down the White River Canyon. That's where I just caught that nice trout. It was right in that tail down there. I'm up top, working my way down the trail here. Got my chest mount and I got a handheld camera going, so should be able to get some cool shots. We go a little further down the trail. I just know there's a spot in the trail I don't feel if I feel Tom Sawyer enough to go down it. It's very steep and loose. So we'll see when I get there what I feel like. Let's skedaddle on down the trail. Boy, it sure is pretty here. If you're a fisherman, I probably wouldn't come here during the weekend. There'll be a lot of hikers and swimmers and, but if you come during the week, or if you come really early in the morning, but you can only get in here at 7. Park's closed earlier than that, but it's just a beautiful canyon that you can hike down. Just gorgeous. Steep portion of the trail, and gonna fish this little rapid and tail here, see if I can't coax something out of here. It's getting pretty warm. I imagine the fish are gonna shut off here pretty soon. Get this moving, come on. Oops. Might be hitting bottom. See if I can't get a little better cast from where I was at. No, that's not where I wanted. Let's try doing overhand. Well, I'll live with it, I guess. I'm running a pretty light setup, so it's pretty hard to cast. Let's try it again. There we go. That's where I wanted. That is where I wanted. And of course I got a loop on my reel. All right, let's try it again. Let's go loop free this time. Loop free, all right. I'm surprised I haven't gotten a take here. It's got everything I would to make the fish as comfortable as they can be. It's oxygenated, it's moving. It's got some depth. Now we're getting into that tail out where it's going to be kind of warm, and they're not going to be hanging out down there. They're going to be hanging out up in here, if anywhere. We'll do another drift. And if I don't get anything, then it's time to move. They must have warned their buddies that I'm here. The fish that I caught. The mop and center pin guys here. I'd be extremely surprised if I got a take down there. Because I just crossed down here and it's pretty warm. Yeah, didn't think so. Reeler back in. Wow, it's a beautiful day. I just wish the super hot weather would go away. It's just too damn hot. If we could get a few days of it being a little cooler, I might be a little more excited about going steelhead fishing, but we keep having these triple-digit days. I'm not too excited about it. Right on the foam line. There's got to be a hungry fish sitting in there. Interesting. Well, I wonder if I move up and change the direction of my drift, change the look. I bet you that will make a difference. You guys, oh, and he just came off. Awesome. That saved me from trying to land him. If you guys float fish and you don't do a slow, consistent retrieve back, I highly recommend it. I catch a lot of fish doing that. I mean, I've caught a handful today doing that on the dead drift and then also on the slow retrieve. You know, don't get over anxious thinking that you're only fishing if you're doing a drift. When you're retrieving that back to you, you're fishing. And then I hooked that fish way down where I wasn't expecting to hook him. I'd imagine down there is pretty warm. And there's another one. Oh, and this is oh shit, this could be a really nice fish. Saw a flash of a belly, and that can be misleading sometimes on how big they are. It's a good sized fish, boy. Definitely want to try to get this one on camera. I just don't know how I'm going to do it. I'm in not a great spot to land a fish. Sit down in the water like this and try to bring him in. Oh, and he almost got hooked. That is a beautiful fish. Woohoo! Oh my God, that's a beautiful fish. And he came off, and I didn't get him on camera. Damn it. Well, you saw glimmers of him. Anywho, barbless with no net, you know, it's bound to happen. That was definitely fish of the day. That was a beautiful, beautiful fish. Now let's see if I can get out of this. I'm being down on my ass here. All right. Well, the main reason I don't carry a net is just I do a lot of Tom Sawyer type crap, you know, climb around through bushes and whatnot, and that's just one more thing to carry and get hung up and get in the way. So I just don't tangle them. Don't take one. I am really flabbergasted they're down at the tail there. I would not think that is going to be where those fish are hanging out. But I've nabbed 2 down in there. I mean, it's silty and a lot of silt and sand down there. I mean, it's got pretty good depth for cover, but that's why they call it fishing, though. In my opinion, fishermen spend too much time worrying about the right gear and the right rod, and they don't spend enough time on dedicating time to trying to figure out where, you know, fish are lying. You know, because they're depending upon the temperature, the water level, I mean, clarity, I mean, all sorts of stuff. Got another one there. Make sure I didn't tangle my line up. No, all right, we're good. They'll hang out. You know, this is a little surprising they're down there, but it's still pretty cool. It's still moving good, and they probably don't have to exert a lot of energy, and they can feed right there. So, I mean, it does make sense. It's just, for most of the morning, I've been finding them in the really swift stuff, like right here, and not in that slow tail stuff. So, boy, that one fish was a dandy. I've heard of absolute hogs being in this river. It's a different section of the White River. It's up higher. And you really can't get to it. It's all surrounded by private property. This is about the only public section you can get to. Find that nice fish's big brother. That would be great. Slow retrieve back. No dice this time. Well, let's do one more drift down through that slack stuff, and then there's a tail not too far down river that I'm gonna fish. Then I'll probably call it a day. Yeah, they're on to me now. Last one. I know, I've been saying that like for the last forecast. Last one, last one, last one. That was the money slot right there. Let's try to do a really slow retrieve here. See if we can't coax one of those nice fish up out of the bottom of the river. Oh, that was a nice fish hitting surface. I might have to come back here next week and bring a dry dropper rig. That could be fun down here. All right. I'm gonna move over there. As soon as I start moving now, that's when the big steelhead sized fish is gonna hit. And I'm gonna miss the set. And then I'm going to blame it on this soft rod. Alrighty. Well, it's time to conserve some battery. Alright, another hookup. Another little guy. If I can't get him over here to have him flop off, it'd be great. Come on, buddy. It's barbless. Flip that sucker out. Flip it out. No, you're gonna make me do it. All right, all right. Bink right in the nose. All right, awesome. It's been a pretty productive spot here. They're definitely schooled in here. I'm probably gonna do, I haven't done a depth change here yet. I'm probably gonna do one here shortly. And try to get down to the bottom. Find that big old trout that's hanging out down on the bottom. Let's see, the float was riding kind of funny. Am I snagged up? Nope, I'm good. All right, well, I'm gonna keep fishing here and see if I can't get another one. But I don't know, I'm well into the double-digit fish today. Oh yeah. You were surprised that wasn't something to eat, buddy. Oh, dude. Here we are. Nice fish, no black spot. There you go. He took that way up in that whitewater, up over there. Oh boy, it's kicking my ass. He is not wanting to come up, boy. And I'm in that same precarious spot that I was earlier. I'm trying to get over here in this deep slack water here and get him on camera. Yeah, dandy fish. Oh, he came off. Damn it. Oh well. And he got me snagged in a tree. That was his response to me hooking him in the mouth. It's like, I'm gonna get you snagged in a tree, sucker. Which he did. Come on. A nice green tree. So I can't just break the branch off. Well, here's the old power station, the White River Power Station. It's pretty neat. Today's fishing's done. Now I've got this long, arduous climb out of here. But it was worth it. It was an awesome day on the river. Well, oh well, I made it up that climb. Boy, that was a butt kicker. So if you come to the state park and you want to fish down in that canyon, be prepared. It's a pretty physical hike down and getting out. So, and very much be on the lookout for snakes. That's not typically an area that gets a lot of foot traffic. So there could definitely, I didn't see any on this trip, but I was being pretty darn cautious of where I was looking and where I was stepping. Because some parts of that canyon, not a lot of people go down there. And so the chances of running into one are significantly higher. But hey, I didn't run into one. I caught some beautiful fish. It was a double-digit day. I lost count. You know, I was trying out that Blood Run 3-weight float rod. It's still, I think, a little soft. They should have done like a 4-weight or a 5-weight blank and not a 3-weight blank. Caught a very nice fish to hand. And then I lost a couple just right at my feet that are on camera that were very, very nice trout. Overall, I'm happy with the decision I made to switch it up and do some trout fishing on the White. versus steelheading on the Deschutes. You know, it's still early on steelhead found in Deschutes. There's fish being caught, but they're few and far between. Like always, you know, like and subscribe. You know, I would love to get to 200 subscribers before end of the summer. We're getting pretty close. I think I'm at 188. And if you come through Maupin, make sure and swing by the hardware store, Maupin Country Store and Hardware. You know, say hi, chit chat about fishing. We have a great fishing department, and make sure if you are unable to come to Maupin, but you still watch the channel and you want to get some of this gear that I use in the videos, I have the majority of it on my eBay, which I always put a link to my eBay page in the video descriptions to make it easier to find. Well, I'm gonna head home and get some breakfast, or I guess brunch probably, and try to have a productive second half of my day. I gotta go out and play and fish a little bit, so that's always fun. I'm still on the fence on that Blood Run rod. You know, I do like that it's an ultralight float rod. I just wish it had a little more backbone. And it's about useless in the Deschutes because the current is so much heavier. But a small creek like White River, or a smaller river like White River, it was okay. You know, I took it because it's kind of a cheap rod, and I would recommend it still if you're thinking about getting into center pin. And you can sink a lot of money into a center pin setup. So the Blood, and I don't have any affiliate links or nothing on the Blood Run, but it's a pretty inexpensive float rod, about 130 bucks. And you can pair it with some of the smaller, less expensive. I was using a Raven Helix, which is kind of their entry-level reel. I think they're about 200 bucks. So for about $300, $350, you can have a pretty good center pin setup. You could land a steelhead on it. It'd be a hell of a fight. Because some of those bigger trout I caught today were really bending that puppy over. So it could be done though. And it's not a big river rod. I guess some of the real slow tails you'd be okay on the Deschutes, but it's just that heavy current. It's not. You're gonna have to put too much weight on it and a bigger float. Because I was running a 5-gram float today, where typically I'm like a 7 on the Deschutes, and I probably could have gone a little lighter down to like a 3 for the White River, but the 5 was working good enough. So I elected just to stay where I was at. When I get back to the store, back to my house, I will kind of show a quick once over of the flies that I was using, that I ended with. I lost the flies. I got snagged up in a tree that I was using for the majority of the outing. But the second set that I was using they were still productive. It got too hot. And it's supposed to be over 100 again today. And it was really getting warm, so the fish kind of shut off. But I was still getting pretty consistent strikes on the flies that I ended with. So, well, I'm gonna make quick work of this drive, and I'll catch up with you in my garage, and I'll show a close-up of the flies that I used. Okay, just getting home. We're gonna go do a little fly recap of what was working here. All right, so first fly I'm going to show you what I was using. I call it the Marty Special. Kind of a caddisy pupa looking thing, black bead, kind of got a green color, a little bit of flash. And the other fly, let me bring it up over here. It is kind of a squiggly, I forget the name. Fly names are becoming like dispensary marijuana names. Looking like that guy. So whatever you want to call it. Those are the two, size 16, size 20. I ran this guy on both setups. I ended up losing the first setup, and I went to this. But what I started with was another caddis pupa looking little thing with a big pink bead. So that's what worked for me today. As always, like and subscribe and get on the river somewhere.